include my phone conversation with Miss Switerack from Leapskin. Pretty sure that's what was on there. All right, let's kind of go through each one. We got our design layouts. Y'all did a good job on that. Just trying to, my screen used to be touch screen and I can mark things up. My children have since broken it, so. All right. Okay. That's Harper's Journey. Got it. All right, so, okay. I'm trying to find George Elijah. Hold on, where are we? Okay, so this is Morgan's. All right, so we're looking at Elijah. This is a really nice model. It's photographed well. One thing I think we want to avoid, I think what will help you, what will help it read cleaner, Elijah, is if we don't have boxes with frames. Like that is one of those kind of, how do you say it? Yeah, we get rid of frames and fills. This can read a lot cleaner. And I think you'd be more confident about the way the work is displayed. Are you able to pull up, you're working on this in PowerPoint? Elijah?
Yes, I was able to open it in PowerPoint.
Okay, so if you can open PowerPoint now and share screen, then I'll show you a couple of quick things that you can do to make it read cleaner. Because I think what has become confusing is when I asked you to create boxes for your fields, you feel like the titles and things have to be in that box, and that's not necessarily the case. So just take, for instance, when you're looking at the magazine layout, none of the titles and things are actually blocked in. It's just taking up the particular space of it. So there's no frames or boxes around it. That makes it look, the boxes make it look more amateurish. That's I guess a word.
Oh, so you, I guess what you're talking about is like what's on the left side, which for the Southern Home or for the AD 100, like how that example is.
All right, let me, I'm trying to go to a, so let me go back to your work sample and I think I can make better. So you see how you have a box and a frame around it and there's like a fill in the box? If you just did it without the fill in the frame, then it would look more seamless.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So let's, anybody else have sample example they put together? Some of the text is hanging out there, picking up that particular space. There's no frame around it. This pops out of the background, if you will. Same thing here. So even though we blocked out the space to show where each element will go within the grid, we're just going to place the text or place the images without adding frames. That is one of the I think, yeah, some of my students had that issue last semester as well. So I'm gonna, I can show you, I'll put together an example. And then, excuse me, Elijah, we can go to your actual thing and show the difference. Journey, I would like you to actually start putting images of your work in the layout. I think your layout is very clean and the text that you've chosen is, you know, on point. I would start actually putting projects in, like of your work, to see what you think. And another thing, you want to take into consideration how you're demonstrating your actual process for your projects. So if you have you might have a large picture of your project, and then underneath it, can everybody see? I'm looking at Journey's layout right now. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what we can do is say, if you have, we can start breaking up the field that you've created within the field that you've created within the grid. So we have an imaginary grid on this page. The actual grid is on PowerPoint, but you can have a large picture up here, and then you can start putting like smaller blocks down here. To fill in the paper space, but the smaller box would be supporting whatever this image is. So for instance, if this is your finished model or drawing or whatever, this larger block here, then these smaller thumbnails down here would be your process sketches.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to just copy paste, but it's not letting me be great. So
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you supposed to put all of your work, or can you just put like some of your best work
I would do
in the
your strongest
portfolio?
projects. Your strongest projects, not all of your work, but the projects that best demonstrate what Andrea's strong skills are. And it also might demonstrate, you know, some type of story about you and why you design. Like you can get that kind of description. Like I know at the beginning of one of Nino's portfolios, it might have been his second year portfolio. He goes into like how he began designing and why he designs, etc. And that was like kind of an introduction to him after his resume or something of that nature. So, yeah, we want to eliminate frames and fills. For now, the important thing about that is understanding negative positive space. So did we understand what we mean by negative and positive space, or is this a foreign concept to all of you?
I think I understand what you mean. I guess it's like.
Okay, so what?
No, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Okay, I just wanted to see what your explanation was. So positive space is kind of what's in your field. The imagery or the content taking up that particular field in the grid, or your background space. that allows your eye relief when you're looking at images. So like every single piece of the page might not be filled up with something because that can be overstimulating to the eye. So you want to allow for some spacing in between your imagery so people can look at one thing, focus on that, and then go to the next thing and focus on each individual element of your project. Does that make sense? Sorry, y'all, getting a really odd angle of my face today. But yes, so Journey, I would recommend, and for all of you, if you have larger elements that you want to demonstrate, but you want to show your process, this is one of the things you can do. You could keep it in that same field of space, but then start breaking up the field into a smaller grid and start inserting thumbnails, or it might be small, like process models or process sketches that demonstrate how you got to where you got to. And it might not necessarily be underneath it. It could also be on the, let me see, I'm gonna shift this. It might be alongside it. The idea is that you are maintaining the same spacing, and these are kind of really good, clean, basic layouts for showing what it is that you did step by step to get to a finished product. And it may be that you have step-by-step thumbnails over here and then a very large image over here. So you, again, that interchanging the information is important, or kind of playing around with it. So let's go to, before we do that, let's go to PowerPoint.
I have a quick question.
And yes.
So, you know, like on the magazine covers, when we did that and the image covered basically like the whole thing, and then we put words over that, can we do that for that too, or is that just for the cover?
Of course you can do that. Yes, you can definitely, dang it, where is that? Hold on, Tyra, I lost my train of thought. Yes, you can, for sure. It's just a matter of, one thing I want you to just make sure you're not doing is putting frames around everything. Where is the recent document? Oh, Lord. Okay, there we go. All right, new share. And then we are going to PowerPoint. Getting better at this, y'all. Remembering to switch over the screens and record.
Oh, I tried to, I don't know. I guess I'm not using the PowerPoint app, so I don't have all the same options. I'm probably gonna have to download it. But when I was trying to do the grid setup, I wasn't able to on my computer.
All right, what are you using? Google Sheets?
No, I was using PowerPoint, I guess just from the tab since I have a MacBook.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I'll be able to download it though. I can try.
So when you clicked on the slide itself, like right clicked on the side itself.
Yeah, it doesn't give me all those options.
It doesn't give you an option.
I'll see if I can download it today though.
Okay. Now keep in mind that we're not going to be working in PowerPoint forever. This is just to kind of get you guys acclimated to things. So I'm going to demonstrate what I was saying with like removing the frames and putting a large title, subtitle, paragraph text in a document to make it look, together. Let's see, what do we got? This device. I always have random projects on my desktop, so. So here's I'm gonna do this with a non-architectural project, just so y'all can see that, it doesn't necessarily all have to be what you think it has to be. All right, this is a photograph that my son took while we were in Ghana. So what I'm gonna do is actually use this photograph to cover the whole slide. Send it to back. I want to get rid of this field right here, but the large text and title, I'm going to change it to a lighter color so that it reads better against the stuff. Let me see, photography portfolio. Or just, you know what, I'll just call it photo book so we can have a come up with a more swanky title, but y'all get the idea. And then the subtitle is going to be photos from my trip to Ghana. And then I'm going to make this in a brighter color just because I'm going to use that as a highlight color throughout my portfolio. Great. And then I can say, December, this is just to date it. You can put a date there. You can put your year, you can say third year, something like that, or 2020 to 2019, like give a range, but you want to just give an idea of the timeline for your portfolio maybe. And it might not be that it's even in chronological order. It's just so the information is there so people know. All right, so I had a large field. I replaced that large field with a photograph. And instead of keeping that box around my text, I allowed it to just sit on top of the photo. I have a highlight color, which I'm going to use consistently throughout my portfolio, and then a date here. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to insert another photo. Insert pictures in this device. And Mm. In that first page, I'm going to try and fill this up. This might not be the best photo to put in here if I want to fill up the same amount of space or half the amount of space. So we'll use a different photo. Is everybody, are y'all following straight? Like, talk to me. Tell me what's happening in your minds. Is
No,
this
I
making some
understand.
level of sense?
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand what you did with the highlight cutter. It's like, I guess that shows like, I guess it draws your eye to see, I guess, the information and what you're going to be getting in this book, whatever's being presented.
So I could probably use it, enlarge this photo enough. So I'm going to take this and try to fill out the same amount of space. And then I'll probably over here say something like, I want this photo to bleed to the other side of the page. So I'm going to keep enlarging it, but I'm going to delete this. And here I'll say introduction. And then here I'll have the same gray that I used prior. I think it's closer to that color. And the paragraph text and the subtitle description, I'm actually going to move that here, over here in this field, so that it's right above the paragraph text. But I'm going to do the same highlighting action. And I might say, you know, book, or my travels to Ghana, right? And then I'll take this here and highlight it with the same color that I used from here. And then my project description is just going to be text, but it'll be black on a white background. And it'll be talking about, you know, you never want to center text, always to the left, please. Always align it left, unless it's a title. But blocks of text, we want to keep it aligned to the left, just because of the way the eye reads or the eye moves across a page. So I'm going to fill this area with text, but when I finish filling this area with text, I want to make sure that there's no outline and no, what do you call it? There's no outline, no fill. It's just text for me to have, you know, hanging in this white space. And I want to make sure my paragraph text is the same style as this paragraph text here. So this is actually Arial Nova Light. That was the paragraph or smaller text that I used from the previous page. So this over here will be Arial Nova Light and 12 point. font because that's what I decided, you know, my text was going to be as I was setting up this layout for this document. And you just
So
say,
right there, you would describe the project.
you can describe the portfolio itself, like if your portfolio overall has a theme, or if you're just doing a work sample, then yes, you could describe the project. And if you want, you can go over here in this negative space. Hold on, let me delete this blue box. Oh, dang it. Hold on, didn't mean to do that. I want this to not have a fill though. Fill, white, outline, white. So it's just hanging out on the page in the white, in the negative space. We're probably going to move this little box here that says introduction down some so that it's more or less in the same space as the title was from the previous page. And I'm probably going to enlarge this more just so I can get more of the shell in the page. So y'all kind of understanding what I'm saying? Now let me do this with an architectural project. I just want you to understand that the you know, the idea is the same. It's just a matter of the content might change, but the consistency is what's important. So you lay things out in the same space. You use the same type of fonts for each type of information. So if it's a large title, then you put your large title in same font, same color. Photos from my trip to Ghana will be in the same color. And then we might, you know, vary it a little bit and use certain colors as a highlight. But like your text block should be the same. We should be taking up the same amount of paper space on more or less on each slide or page. Really want this to be bigger because I'm not liking how it's sitting. It's making some level of sense, I hope. What I can do is I can edit photos, I can crop here and then expand it. This was such a random image. I just remember wondering why the shell was hanging in the tree, but okay, so now I've got it. So where I want it to sit on a page. And I may have to go back, you know, sometimes you got to go back and just edit where you want your title so that everything is online. I might have to go back to the previous page and move this down so that it's, dang it, not this, the title box, move it down so that it's in the same place as my title for the other thing. And I can leave this here. I can switch the subtitle so that it's actually over top. That's fine. I can stay that way. But we understand, we see some level of consistency here. Let me do this with an architectural project so that you are not like, what the heck does these photos have to do with anything? All right. So we are here, pictures, this device, what we got? What do we got, Mama? I'm hoping I have some models. Let's see. All right, so here we might have I thought I had pictures of models. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is put this sketch here. And it's great because it already has a white background. It's pixelated, but for the sake of time, we're just gonna go with it. And then I'm going to pictures this device. Maybe this is better. All right, so this might be a very finished photo diagram. We're going to pretend this is all the same project, even though it's not. Now there's two things you could do. You could keep this over here and do a project description next door, or you can take this and make this a full page spread. Right, that could be your cover page with just one really strong image. And we bring our titles to the front. Yeah. Bring to front. Since there's more white space up here at the top, more negative space up here, you don't want to take away from your image. We can move our titles to the top now, and then we can have it up here. And we can now delete this box, delete this box. Remember, we don't want any frames, just want to use the negative and positive space. And we can call this designing sustainably. I'm going to stretch this across the top. And then for the subtitle, I'm going to put, and this image is a little bit busy, but it can be like your first project in the portfolio. I wouldn't necessarily do this as a cover. And I can say designs by design portfolio. Where's that symbol that I like to use? Andrea. Is it MEJIA, Andrea?
Yes.
I feel like I'm always spelling your last name wrong. Okay. Andrea. And then we can put the year underneath it. 2020 to 2019. If we want to use this particular image as our, beginning. This, even if it's not your cover page, it could be the inside of your, like that first opening book spread. Or this could be your, this could be, if you have a work sample and you want to show one large image, then you could do, let's just duplicate this slide. You can say, Andrea Maya, or a design sample. Let's do that. And this might be one side of the design sample. And then on the opposite side, like if it's a two-sided thing, double page situation, you can do a, geez. And you could talk about design process. But remember what Woods has said, you want to make sure that your name is on each of the slides. You can even move your name and subtitle information down to the bottom. And then you can insert pictures that show your design development on the back. And again, we're pretending this is all the same page, like the same project rather. We're kind of taking up the same amount of space. And then you can do, another catchier image here. And because this is white space, you have a little more liberty with your, like it has a white background, you got a little more liberty with your sizing of things because everything bleeds into each other. You just want to make sure that your text and stuff line up correctly with the grid line. You can add guides if you like, but it's kind of right on that 6 inch. Is that 6 inches? Whatever, 6 inch mark or ½ inch mark. Yeah, that's a half because these grids are 1 inch by 1 inch. And then you can insert a text box down at the bottom to give like a description of your text. And I'm going to go back to that Arial Nova light And we're going to do that at 12 font. And talk about your design and your process and what you were trying to achieve over here. And then each of these little thumbnails over here can be individually numbered so that we're going to pretend this is your design process, not what it is. You can say that step 1, I did this, step 2, I did this. So one way to do that is to add little boxes. And we probably want to get a green color since there's a lot of green already in your images, or you can use this orange color from the first slide. But I'm going to use green just because it's my favorite color. And so then in there, I can put individual, I can number my steps for my process for each one. Is all this making sense, students? Anybody have any questions? We got 5 minutes for questions. No, nothing? Y'all still there? Y'all present on the live?
I think I understand it, but I might just contact you later if I have any questions.
Okay, and there's another design portfolio workshop happening tomorrow at 2 o'clock. But if you have any questions, feel free. I will send this to you. And if I'm going to do it right before we close out of class because I don't want to forget, and then you're sending me frustrated emails. Like, what is this woman doing?
I have a question.
Yes.
Roughly how many pages is our portfolio supposed to be? Because when they were presenting yesterday, they had like 40 pages.
Well, they have a lot more work. And some of their projects, they could take one project alone and do a portfolio based on that because they have so much content. So it really does depend upon how much strong content you have. Mind you, they're 4th year seniors, so they've been going at it for a while. And then for 3rd year, I just require more documentation. So it just really does depend on how much documentation you want to showcase to get the point across about your project. Or it may be that you have a specific talent that you want to showcase. Like if you're an excellent sketcher and you want to, show how well you sketch, you might have multiple projects, very elaborate sketches in them. If you are an excellent, you might have several renderings, because I required for, say, Trent's project last semester, I think I required 2 exterior shots, 2 interior shots, and maybe a rendered site plan. So that's a total of 5 renderings. Trent took it upon himself to do additional renderings just because he wanted to give everyone a feel for the building. So it really does depend on you and how many strong images or how much strong content you have to demonstrate what you were trying to get across in your design. Like what your concept was, what you were trying to show people, what was the the mood you were trying to create in the building. You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. But for the time being, I don't want y'all to get overwhelmed and try to put everything in there. Maybe pick 2 strong projects and bring it together on 2 pages and just show, all right, this is the really strong beginning page. This is, my design process of how I got to that strong image. And then towards the end, you can put another strong image and then maybe your resume on one side. You know what I'm saying? And so then that gives them a way to reference you and contact you, but you want to make sure that you have all of your information on one slide. If y'all have time tomorrow, please come to the portfolio workshop. Excuse me, I'll send out the link again. And for work samples, if I need to create a separate breakout room for work samples, then that's what I'll do. Okay?
Okay.
All right, I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna send you this PowerPoint presentation. We're gonna call this ARC 211. 211 work sample layouts. And y'all can use, if y'all want to like take this document apart and use the same layout, same fonts, you might want to switch up the fonts. That gets to be more fun, but especially your titles. You can do that. I just wanted you to have like a basis, like a good starting point. And if you're interested in something a little more fun, you can go on what is that thing called? Pinterest, and look at portfolio layouts or work sample layouts. Like if there's a layout that you want to learn, be online, go save out that PDF and then bring it to the portfolio workshop. We won't have class on Monday, obviously, but bring it to the portfolio workshop so I could go through how to do what needs to be done. All right, I'm sorry, I gotta cut this short. I got a meeting, but I will send you this presentation shortly, and you will have the video for this class as well once it uploads.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You are all very welcome. Y'all have a great weekend.